Welcome to our workshop in Soulfulness entitled Quieting My Fears and Anxieties. If you struggle with fears and anxieties, I first want you to know that you're not alone because I did a little research and found out that about 40 million Americans walk around with a sense of worry and nervousness, unease. For some, it's a kind of a low-level wattage, right? Like a current that goes through their bodies, while others are ever more aware of a kind of a lurking danger, which makes them feel very insecure. So it could be feelings of concern or apprehension or uneasiness or fearfulness. There are many ways to feel anxious. It could be in your different parts of your body. We'll discuss that fairly soon. So there are different ways that we feel anxious. Last session, we were talking about the 5 dimensions of self. We have our thoughts and our feelings, if you remember, our physiology, our behavior. So I want to go over each of these areas so we can get a sense of what anxiety is as you experience it in different aspects of your consciousness, your awareness. So in the area of thoughts, and we said the thoughts are just these ideas that go across our brains. So here was a fellow who came to me, told me that he's been married for about 5 years, married a little bit later, probably about 30 when he got married, and they waited a couple of years before they had a baby. And he was telling me that when he has this sweet little girl, loves her very much, but when he takes her up the steps in his house, he has this thought of kind of dropping her, or even this image of throwing her over. Now, he wouldn't do it, he's a loving father, but it worries him. Now, where does he get this thought from? That's an anxious thought, right? He understands the reality of it. He's not going to do anything, but he asked me if I can help him deal with this thought, where it comes from, why he has it. We see a lot in dating and engagements. A couple gets engaged and then they have these thoughts. Maybe there's somebody else, somebody better. Maybe it was the last person I dated. Should have gotten engaged to that person. You make a purchase, buy a car, a bike, a house, right? Do the right thing. Some people just kind of have troubled thoughts, anxious thoughts, which run through their minds throughout the day. One fellow told me, I realize I'm nervous. That's how my family functioned. My mother was always nervous. My mother always had nervous thoughts. Are you okay? Where are you? All the time. Another situation is somebody may have been brought up in a home where there was illness. Right? So somebody knew a father had a heart condition. Always worried about his heart, the heart of someone else. Every slight symptom becomes something to worry about. Well, those are thoughts. Feelings are more intense because feelings, as we said, that feelings are not just in our heads, they run through our whole body. So instead of thoughts, they're real feelings of worry or fear and an overwhelming sense of anxiety. We don't know where it is, it just runs throughout our body. Very paralyzing. Much more intense than thoughts. Physiology, which is the third area of our dimension, 5 dimensions of self, is that you really feel it going through your body. Sometimes you feel, say, my stomach is churning. Sometimes anxiety causes to have a headache. That's physiological. Or muscles tightened. Or my heart palpitates. There was somebody came to me who said, when I get an aliyah, I kind of feel myself shaking. Somebody was telling me he was davening for the Amid and he was going to bring back the Sefer Torah and he found his knees shaking. That's physiology. Sometimes we get all choked up, the phlegm in our throats when we're nervous. We have to clear our throats over and over again. We have this people who go to a doctor and they take their blood pressure. Doctors frequently take it 2-3 times because we have it's called the white coat syndrome. A person looks at a doctor and all of a sudden their blood pressure jumps. It takes a matter of seconds. And they have to quiet down. So the doctor will take it over a period of time, over a period of 10 or 15 minutes. So these are ways in which our physiology is affected when we're feeling anxious. The fourth area is behavior, how we behave. Well, some people say, I can't help biting my nails. I've been biting my nails since I was a little kid. I've been a nervous little kid. I'm 45 years old. I'm still biting my nails. Some people, when they're nervous, they overeat. Some people do things out of nervousness or anxiety on the internet that they shouldn't be doing. They don't have to do it themselves. It leads to addictive behaviors. So there are many different ways that we behave when we're anxious and attempt to distract ourselves from the anxiety or act out on it. And lastly, the last area is our relationships. That when we're anxious, sometimes we'll feel jealous, we'll feel deprived, we'll feel competitive, we'll feel resentful. Our relationships will suffer because we can't feel calm, we can't feel a sense of menucha, we can't feel close to people. Our focus is on the tension, is on the anxiety. And when you think about it, we said something when we were discussing thoughts, that 98% of our thoughts are repeated on a daily basis. So when a person feels anxious, these thoughts and feelings of anxiety always return, and they follow a pattern, almost like an addiction. There's an interesting concept. It's a very powerful concept that in neurological studies, it's called the negativity bias, which means that the mind has a way of gravitating towards negative memories, negative patterns, much more easily than towards positive patterns. That's the way Hashem created the mind. It's a very fascinating phenomenon. To remember positive things, you really have to work at it. But negative things kind of come naturally. Just like the rain falls, that's how the mind gravitates towards negative patterns. So if a person has a history of anxiety, all the neural pathways of the mind just flow in that direction. The thoughts and the feelings and the behavior and the physiology just keep on going in that direction. Somebody said to me, when I fast, how does I develop a headache? Well, I understood that. I said, you probably drink too much coffee, whatever. I said, no, I developed a headache even before the fast. It's anticipatory. Just thinking about it gives me a headache. There's an interesting story of a young girl I saw whose mother told me that she developed seizures, and they couldn't figure out where the seizures came from. And this was a pattern that had developed, and they weren't seizures, they were called pseudo-seizures. Just been a pattern that had developed when this girl was frightened earlier in life. And any time she saw something that frightened her, she fell back into these seizures. So, when we look at anxiety, we sometimes it just becomes what I call wallpaper. It becomes a part of our lives. If I ask you, what's the color of the wallpaper in your house? When you're in the corridor of your bedroom, you may not even remember because it's been that way for so long. Some people have been anxious for so long. It doesn't have to be very dramatic. You're just there all the time. So that's really the essence of anxiety and what triggers it. So anxiety sometimes is there all the time, sometimes it's triggered. It could be triggered by death, or illness, or abuse. Somebody told me, every time I meet somebody who I like, I had a father who died when I was younger, so I always felt funny when I was with people. I never really understood what was going on, but every time I liked somebody, so I had a funny feeling. One day I realized what the feeling was. The feeling was I said, well, if my father died, this person can die also. So it's just the association that triggers it, and the neural pathways that keep on repeating themselves. So it could be on dating, it could be taking an interview, it could be a test, an aliyah, we said. It could be growing up in a family where there was a lot of tension, when there's work pressure, engagement. So all of these things kind of come together, and a person who deals with anxiety over a period of time begins to define themselves as someone who really is an anxious personality. It's almost like that's my second name, and I don't really believe I have a personality outside of my anxiety. I've said that in the past, when these things happen, they take away our identity. They make us forget who we really are. Today, all kinds of advertising about make sure that nobody takes your credit card number, your social security number. That's identity theft. But the real identity theft is that when a person is anxious, they begin to see themselves as an anxious person, and there is no other self. They don't believe they can ever get out of it. But the reality is that nobody is ever stuck. Hashem doesn't create these situations and leave us without a key, without a door, without an opening to find our real selves. So in soulfulness is learning how to access a state of mind, a way of using your mind, of using your body, your thoughts, your feelings, your behavior, that quiets the anxiety and permits your deeper self, your neshama self, to emerge in a quieter and natural and safer way. When you learn the skills that enable you to experience soulfulness, you learn that you can experience a deeper dimension of yourself, which is aware of Hashem's loving presence every moment of our lives. Just like a mother quieting a crying child. When that child is crying, it doesn't believe it can ever stop crying. It's lost. It's like an astronaut who's been untethered. There's no coming back. Right? And then the mother soothes the child, brings the child back. I give the story of a boy who wakes up in the middle of the night and he's screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, there's a monster in the closet." There are two kinds of fathers who will come in. One father will be, someone will say, "It's 3:00 in the morning. What? Let me get some sleep. There's no monster in the closet." And he'll open the closet door and he'll slam it shut and walk outside. The poor child will be absolutely devastated. Another father will come in and understand what the child is going through. And say, "Oh, let me give you a glass of milk," and we'll sing a Malach Goel, right? We'll say a Kriya Shema. We'll sing a bedtime story. And before you know it, the father will say, "Let me show you there's no monster in the closet," right? Takes him to the closet, maybe a little flashlight. The first father doesn't really know how to quiet down the child. Maybe no one ever taught him to deal with his anxiety. The second father understands. He has learned how to quiet his own anxiety, and therefore he can teach his son how to quiet, how to soothe himself. And in time, the son will learn that. So soulfulness really is learning how to quiet down your anxiety so that you can be aware of the reality of Hashem's loving presence in every aspect of our lives. So just like your inner ear gives you balance, your neshama is a balancing mechanism for anxiety. Just like a high wire artist learns how to stay on the wire, or a bike rider learns how to stay balanced, the way we learn how to walk, all of these things require balance. Our neshama gives us balance. It brings us back to that sense of balance where we experience our deeper selves. Channels all of our life energy in a productive direction so that we can continuously maintain that sense of balance and connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, in every area of our lives. This is the experience of soulfulness, where you can learn to experience a more tranquil and calmer sense of self, where your whole internal self is reordered and restored. It's in a kind of a healthy alignment. And there are many stories I can tell you about individuals who had been struggling for many years. A young woman who was obsessed with illness and death since early childhood. And after years, fruitless years of therapy, discovered her soulfulness, and she is able now to function beautifully in every situation that she encounters. Because this is who we really are. This neshama always exists. It has a power in of itself. The neshama is the most powerful force in the world because it's Lamala min hateva, and learning how to access it. We learn how to be in touch with who we really are. And we learn that the anxiety is really only an artificial distortion of your true self, not your true identity. So the life goal is learning to cultivate this quieter, truer sense of self, not just once, but on a continuous basis, through making soulfulness a part of your real identity, and to learn to use these skills on a daily basis so you can feel secure, a sense of well-being within. In the guided imagery you're about to hear, the soul song, which accompanies each of our programs, which gives you a sense of soulfulness, there are 4 aspects or 4 dimensions of awareness that I want to bring to your attention, which you'll be hearing in the guided imagery. The first is what I call neshama awareness, which you'll be experiencing at the beginning of the program, at the guided imagery, when you are in the meadow, when you enter the water. And then we're going to experience centering, the way you use your hands to gently create a sensitive sense of self. And then we're going to experience the use of breath, what breath really is, a gift from Hashem. And finally, we're going to experience the flow of Hashem's love, that learning how to enter into that awareness that every moment of life is a true expression of Hashem's love. And you'll find that these 4 dimensions, or these 4 aspects of awareness, as you listen, will give you the ability to access your sense of soulfulness wherever you are, with whomever you are, whether you're with somebody or by yourself, or you're davening, you're working, all in an appropriate way. But you'll see how wonderfully effective it is in quieting your anxiety. So let's get ready. You're going to be hearing the soul song on quieting anxieties. Since you're watching this, probably in your home, close your eyes, you can watch the screen. There'll be a very nice graphic along with it, but it's best you close your eyes. And if you're on your phone and you're walking, well, just take a nice walk and look straight ahead and follow the guided imagery as you walk. So I wish you a very pleasant experience in soulfulness. And after you listen to the guided imagery, we're going to give you some directives and some suggestions that will help you internalize the experience on a daily basis. Welcome to the Neshama song on calming my fears and anxieties. This program was created because so many individuals struggle with feelings of emotional and physical sensations of anxiety. Unable to quiet these feelings, they long to experience a sense of inner quiet and peace, free of the imprisonment of fears and anxiety. In this song, you will experience your soulfulness and learn how to transform and calm your anxieties and insecurities and achieve a wonderful sense of balance and tranquility. All this occurs as you begin to hear the beautiful notes and harmonies your neshama sings within you. You can listen and re-listen to neshama song as many times as you wish. You can listen while you're walking on a quiet path or resting comfortably in a private place of your own with your eyes closed and just imagining the walking experience. So let's begin your neshama song experience on calming my fears and anxieties. As you are walking with your eyes focused straight ahead, or just imagining your walk with your eyes closed, permit yourself to imagine you are walking in a lush green meadow, stretching as far as your eyes can see. Perhaps you can see lush green mountains in the distance and feel the comforting warmth of a summer sun above you. Imagine the softness of the grass beneath your feet, so soft and fresh and green. As you continue to walk, imagine seeing a pond in the middle of the meadow. Its waters are calm, shimmering in the wonderful warmth of the sun. And sitting on the waters is a white lily pad, pure, motionless, sitting on the calm waters, soaking up the loving rays of the bright summer sun. You bend down to touch the waters of the pond. They're so warm and inviting. And you enter the waters and feel the warmth surround you. You feel safely enveloped in the warm, reassuring waters, which are calming and healing. Imagine floating to the surface of the water so your back is to the calming waters beneath you, and your face is towards the warming rays of the sun above you. And as you float, you can sense a warm and illuminating light emanating from your mind, perhaps within your forehead or above your forehead. At first, it's a warm, gentle glow, like a soft flame that illuminates the darkness. But then the light begins to radiate downwards into your face, to your neck and your arms and your fingers, moving so gently like herb-scented liquid honey, sweet and warm, moving down your chest and your stomach, and moving down your thighs and your legs, So your whole body is filled with the warmth and the illumination of this light. It's so calming and soothing. It fills your entire being, and you realize that just as you are floating between the waters and the sun, the warm, illuminating light of your neshama is always floating within you. And you realize that you can live within the light of your neshama. You realize that the neshama within you illuminates and brings life to your being, just as Hashem illuminates and brings life to the world. It fills and nurtures you through the delicate flow of Hashem's love. You feel calmed in body and soul. You are aware of your soulfulness and realize that every moment of your life you are living the gentle flow of Hashem's love, soothing, quiet, and calming, like a mother soothes her beloved infant. This is how Hashem loves you, gently and deeply, and you experience it in your soulfulness. The awareness fills you with an inner sense of beauty for who you are. For when you are living in your soulfulness, you realize that you are always in Hashem's loving embrace. Imagine continuing your walk on the lush green meadow. And as you walk, permit your hands to touch each other so gently. The gentle touch of your hand is as delicate as the neshama within you. And as you are walking, look straight ahead. With each step of life, you are aware that you are brought into this world as a smiling and loving neshama, as a wonderfully perfect being. And imagine looking up beyond the heavens and saying, Hashem, you have given me legs and feet that will carry me throughout life, hands that can touch, feel, grasp, and create. Hashem, you have given me a heart that will beat throughout every moment of my life, eyes that see your wondrous world, ears to hear the beauty of songs within me. And as you walk forward, you can take a full breath and realize that you are breathing in countless messengers of Hashem. Each messenger fills you with life and nurtures every cell of your body. You realize that you were created to breathe in the air of Hashem's loving breath at every moment of your life. Thank you, Hashem, for all your wonderful gifts. The more I understand and experience your embrace, the more I grow in my gratitude to you. I become aware that there are no limits to my life. With you, Hashem, I can grow even beyond the vast universe. For I am walking in my soulfulness, and I can swim effortlessly in the endless oceans of your love and beauty. I can experience the ever-expanding galaxies of my soul, as you, Hashem, are my beloved Father, who guides me to grow in my love and understanding of life at every moment. And as I walk, I am aware that you have created the span of heavens before me. I walk on a velvet meadow. The soft grass caresses my toes. My hands gently touch, and I can feel the flow of life within me. My legs walk to the flow. My lungs breathe to the flow. The gift of life enters and flows through my body. You, Hashem, are the loving flow of my life. You know you are always in Hashem's loving embrace because you are living in your soulfulness. Hashem, you know I have always yearned to experience inner calm. Even in my moments of anxiety, I am aware that you are always within me, loving me, as the miracle of life flows through me. Hashem, I have always been safe and secure in your loving embrace, and I will be for all eternity. Please guide me to learn to be peaceful in body and soul, to feel safe and loved, now and forever. Teach me to sing your song of love and beauty that quiet and calms my fears and anxieties. Teach me to be aware that you're always with me, that I have never been alone, nor will I ever be. I hold you in my heart as you hold me. I am forever with you as you are forever with me. Imagine sitting next to a gentle stream of crystal waters, observing as the waters flow and shimmer in the sunlight. You realize that just as the waters flow, Hashem's love for you flows within at every moment of your life. In your soulfulness, you are walking in the gentle flow of Hashem's love. Hashem, I now understand that the journey of my soul never ends. This is the only truth, which is like the ever-unfolding beauty of a flower and the endless brightness of a billion suns. My love for you, Hashem, never ends. Your love for me never ends. Look straight ahead, beyond the trees, beyond the clouds, beyond the sky, beyond the universe, toward Hashem's infinite love. My love, Hashem, is a journey leading me towards endless joy and sweetness. And as you walk, permit the gentle touch of your hands to speak the language of your soulfulness. Speak to your neshama, saying, I will remember to permit my hands to touch and feel the delicateness of my neshama, so I can sense my inner calm and remember that I am always living in Hashem's flow of love. I will remember to take a gentle breath and remember that I am filled with countless loving messages from Hashem that fill me with love and life. Now imagine being with someone or being in a place which may cause you to feel perhaps a bit anxious, or just permit yourself to feel your anxiety or insecurity without any external stimuli or reason. Take a gentle breath. Feel the reassuring touch of your hands that calm and centers you. Feel your sense being in Hashem's flow of love. Walk forward in comfort, security, quiet, and tranquility. Telling yourself this is the true and real me. The me that smiles inside. The gentle, loving, calm, and tranquil me. Feel yourself walking in your soulfulness, in the gentle flow of Hashem's love for you. I will always remember my true self every day as I walk, as I daven, as I am with others who are part of my life. This is my true soulfulness, always remembering, always connected, always aware of Hashem's love, now and forever. So now that you have heard the soul song for anxiety, I'd like to make some suggestions. Firstly, I'd like you to listen to the soul song every day for a week, taking a walk, being in your house. I'd like you to practice breathing and centering. Very important. You can practice breathing when you're davening, right? When you're with people. No one will see. It's a short breath. It's just the awareness of the gift of life that comes from breath. And centering, keeping your hands together, particularly when you're with people. You'll find that it quiets you very nicely. And when you're experiencing anxious thoughts, well, there you can use the principles that we learned in the first session on thoughts, the 3 principles. If you remember, that they were that we have the ability to let go of or drop our thoughts, and that Hashem is the essence of our lives, and that Hashem wants us to realize that and experience that we're in the flow of His love. Another suggestion I'd like you to make is to select one area of davening where you can experience the meaning, maybe during Shemoneh Esrei or Kriya Shema, where you can feel your tranquility and soulfulness through the breathing and centering. And I'd like you to every day select a different person and situation where you will be centered and experience the difference in being centered with that person. And write down your observations in the journal that comes along with this program. So those are my suggestions on soulfulness and learning to quiet your fears and anxiety. I wish you much hatzlacha and bracha and kol tov. Bye-bye.